Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live. It is Friday the 13th, Friday, August 13th, and glad you guys are joining me. If it's your first time here, a couple of notes. If your question doesn't go through, your comment doesn't go through, try to, which way are we going? Try it again. Try shortening your comment a little bit because sometimes YouTube can be funny. And if I don't see your comment, it's not me ignoring you, it's YouTube. If you're late to the party, you can send me a question or comment on Instagram at Ben the Barman, and I'd be glad to help you guys out. Now, before I get started, I think I got my new Arnold shirt in, and I found this on, wait, Barbarian, okay? There we go. The new Arnold shirt, Barbarian. I saw that on Arnold's actual Instagram. So that came in the mail today. Let me know how you guys are doing, what you guys are up to. If you're new here, please fire up your questions and don't be shy. No stupid questions. I'll answer everything. I'll stay on as long as you guys have questions. So fire away. Faz is not with me today. Faz is going to join me about once a month. So I'm a little bit tired. Stayed up late last night watching some of the Field of Dreams baseball game, so on and so forth. Thursday night's kind of our stressful day. I try to get super caught up on client work, and by the end of the day, we're just spent, like just toast. So if you guys are interested in coaching, you can head over to my website, which is, where is it? Right there. There's my finger. And there's a coaching tab. Sign up. I'm with my clients every single day. It's only $80 a month, 3-month commitment. We do everything, workouts, nutrition, whatever. So post up your questions, guys. I'm going to dig in. Stein's back on track with being first. Glad you're here, Stein. And Stein just has some numbers for us for anybody keeping track at home. I'm not sure if there's any reference to that, Stein, or if you're just telling us how sexy you are. 3 Days Grace. How do you go about programming for power building? All my workouts are power building. You check out my workouts at my website, and everything is structured to build muscle and build strength. Jeff Nippard does 1 week strength, 1 week. That's, in my opinion, that's nonsense. Everything for you guys is strength and muscle building. It's the same process. I don't like that concept. I find it to be a little bit, there's no need to do strength and hypertrophy work. It's all the same thing. It really is. There's no difference between building a strength base and building a muscle base until you get to 90% of your progress. So all my workouts are power building. This is not a dig on Jeff Nippard, but I really despise the foolery that is doing a strength week and a hypertrophy week. They're all the same thing. So that doesn't mean it's not a good workout. But usually strength is lower rep sets, but strength is built in rep work. So it's not like strength is exclusive to a rep range. That's just a silly concept. Paul Velasquez, what's up from Albuquerque, New Mexico? What's up, Paul? I'm sure you may or may not know that I went to college in Socorro. I believe you've been hit with that a few times. Matthew from Honolulu, and we got Mike from Boston. Mike was probably happy to see the Yankees lose in the bottom of the 9th last night. When is it time to adjust volume? I'm following your A-B split. If I can't add any more reps after 1 month, might I need to add in more sets? The idea here is that if you're not adding any reps in a month, that volume will cure it, and that's unlikely to be the case. If you haven't added a single rep in a month, the first thing I would look at is dietary consistency. And I would also look at form on the exercise. I do know that when somebody's doing a workout it's not all the exercises they're not progressing on, it's one or two. So I would need a little bit more information. Now, in general terms, when do you add volume? If you are rolling on a program, if you're rolling on your training on a specific program for 3-4 months, and you want to stay on it for a little while, we don't think about adjusting volume in a broad scope, like to every exercise. What we want to do is, after we've been under the hood for a while, we're driving this workout for a while, we want to, maybe you want to add another set of barbell rows while keeping your progression scheme. Great. Maybe you want to cut back a set of RDLs because it's too taxing from a cardiovascular standpoint. So it's an exercise by exercise case, and it really depends on the program. So just keep that in mind. If you guys are thinking about volume, if you're progressing, there's really no urgent need to add volume. But if you're in the gym and you have time and you want to do add in another set of barbell rows or remove a set of RDLs or whatever the case is, you can do that. Paul, cut my calories and lost about a pound the first week, and even on the second, do I need to drop calories again? Yeah, what you did was you probably cleaned up your diet a little bit and flushed a little bit of water weight, but probably are not in a deficit. What you did was probably just clean it up. You probably evened out the ups and downs a little bit. I would drop it by 250 calories a day and report back. Jacob asks the question, thoughts on Greg Doucette's diet? I have no idea what his diet is, and I'm not, trying to sound disrespectful or uncaring. I just have no idea what anybody else eats, and, really no desire to store that in my brain. Hey, from England, what's going on, Stuart? And Richard from Scotland. We got the tag team of England and Scotland. Brendan, is it okay to focus on dumbbell press instead of bench? Absolutely. The best case is for you to do a barbell and a dumbbell exercise, both. That's the best for overall muscle and strength building. But if you want to take a break and just focus on dumbbell bench, that's absolutely fine. Dumbbell bench or dumbbells in general are very good for hypertrophy. They're good, if not better, than barbell exercises. So just keep that in mind. That sounds a little bit controversial, right? But it's actually true. I mean, with a barbell, you're in a fixed position. You can get very strong on barbell exercises, and they're great for building muscle. But a dumbbell allows for a little more freedom of movement. And in general, a dumbbell exercise might be a hair better choice for hypertrophy. Robert, catching you live today. Thanks for tuning in, Robert. Appreciate it. Willie, Southwest Virginia. I got to do my math. I got to do my trajectories and geography. I used to live in Virginia and Richmond. I was in the service in Fort Lee. So you're southwest. So you're over there more towards West Virginia or something like that. Charlie, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Looking good, Charlie, in that avatar, looking like a sexy freak. And Red Wild Bear, favorite arm exercises. My favorite arm exercises probably are the cable tricep extensions, skull destroyers for triceps, and close grip bench. When I was younger, I used to do a lot of things like single arm dumbbell overhead, extensions and French presses. But now with how girthy I am, I can't really do those types of movements. Biceps, dumbbell curls, and I love to do easy bar curls. I love to do seated cable curls where you curl the bar towards your face. And I love to do reverse grip lat pull downs where you really focus on pulling or contracting with the biceps. So I'd be curious what you guys think, what your favorite exercises are. Just trying to see who's blowing. Here, we'll tell them, watch my live. Somebody's blowing up my phone. Like, hey, I do a live video at 11 o'clock every single day. Watch it instead of blowing up my phone. Triceps dips tips. Triceps dips, you mean just like regular dips? Number one, control them. And this might seem a little bit, I don't know, it might seem a little bit, simple of tips, but you want to control them. You want to control the eccentric, the lowering. Don't be at a rush. Don't try to pump them out like a machine. Don't be all loosey goosey. Don't abuse your body. Just control them down. Once you don't have to really go below parallel. So once your arm is kind of parallel to the ground, if it goes a little bit lower than that, you can stop and just, get a good feel for them. Make sure you can feel the muscles working that are supposed to be working, and don't go crazy. Don't go crazy on them. Just nice and controlled, and try to get a good feel. Bree from Mongolia, how's it going, Bree? Hope all is well. And Rico, loving your 28-day power building cycle program. It's definitely very challenging. Indeed, there are some programs I put together that are a little bit more challenging than others, and for no other reason than to give people options. Like, here we go, this is a tough program, let's see what we can do. It's a little bit tougher than the average program. Some programs you're trying to get people on the right track, and they're a very good program and they're going to get really good results. But some programs, you have people on the right track and you want to see what they're capable of and push them a little bit harder. And that's one of those types of programs. Training a muscle twice a week is way better than training it once a week. No, that's not true. And I get this every week. It's absolutely not true. Modern hypertrophy science, the meta-analysis, is showing that frequency training is not superior to body part splits. We're looking at weekly volume equated when it's equated over the course of a week, so the same volume on a weekly basis. The current meta-analyses and all the experts in the know agree is that body part splits are a hair better. In reality, the bottom line, and everyone will agree, is it doesn't really matter how you train, as long as you train consistently, you have a good exercise selection, you have progressive overload, you have a consistent diet. So we don't need to get caught up in all this stuff. It's just a waste of time. I've said this for over a decade, and many times I was crucified by people that it doesn't matter how you train. You can check the record. I've been preaching this forever. It doesn't matter how you train. And I was so bold and so brash back then to say you'll one day find out that science will say it doesn't matter how you train. And here we are in 2021. Doesn't matter how you train. What's up, big guy? What's the best way to grow the calves going to failure? One of the best ways to grow the calves is to do seated calf raises, and you want to do a couple seconds up, hold at the top, and then a couple seconds down. Try 10 reps of that. Progressive overload, of course, 2 to 3 sets. That'll really grow the soleus, and I've had a lot of clients make good progress on that. Martin, there's a slight slide on the bench when I'm bench pressing Smith machine. How do I stop it? Body slide. You can take bands to, let me see if I can pull this up. I'm not sure if I can here. You can put bands on the bench, but I'm not sure, what your gym will allow. Let me see if I can quickly find an example of this. Bands on the bench. You can place the heavier bands on the bench from the foot of the bench to the head of the bench, and that'll help prevent some slippage, if that makes sense. And I can't find a good image of that, but that's probably the easiest way. And that's something you can tuck in your gym bag, and I don't think anybody's going to have a heart attack if you temporarily put one of those thick bands on a bench. So that'll definitely help a little bit. Should I do carb backload on off days? No, that's just a waste of, that's just overthinking. Be consistent with your diet. There's no need to carb backload, reload, unload, backflips, all that kind of happy horse shit. It's just way overthinking. Most people are going to fail at calorie and protein intake consistency. If you want to eat a little bit more before a big squat day or whatever, that's fine, but don't overthink this stuff. That's going to in the long run, it's not going to matter. Milo, I start your 5x5 power building. I bench 60 by 8 squat. Da, 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 da. Is it okay for late novice like me? Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Just have somebody look at your form. Keep an eye on your form, keep working on your form, and you'll be absolutely fine. Got +2 on a few exercises this week. That's what it's all about. Those little steps. They don't seem like much, but if you add them up over the course of a year, you're going to make amazing progress. We'll be on vacation next week. When I get back, should I immediately up the weight? If you are only a week or 7 or 8 or 9 days away from the last time you did a lift, yes. Once you kind of get to that 10-day, 2-week stage, it's probably a good idea to drop it maybe 5%, see how you feel, and then get back up to speed. Went from 220 to 260 on the slingshot bench with a closer medium grip. That's a pretty huge increase. So if you're doing a closer grip, just know it's going to be more tricep centric and less chest centric, and there's value to doing a wider grip as well. Renee, should do some cooking videos from your book. That's a good idea, Renee. There's so many things, Renee, that I want to do. I just wish I had time. It's just my time is just all dedicated to clients right now. There's so many things I want to do. Do exercise tutorial videos, really in-depth stuff like that. I just got a handle on my clients, how to get it. It's down to a science right now. So I just need to find a way to make a little bit extra time in the day to do some of these things. Amanda P, form tips, reverse grip, barbell row. I feel like I'm not doing it exactly the same way each week because I'm questioning my form. I'm going to be honest, Amanda, it's not my favorite exercise. Not my favorite exercise at all. I don't like that supinated grip. It doesn't feel good for me, but that doesn't mean it doesn't feel good for you. So the main tip is to get your torso in a position first and foremost that feels comfortable and natural to you. Then brace, and from there, you focus on driving your elbows and shoulders back at the same time. Elbows and shoulders back at the same time. Do that, with a lighter weight with your warm-up sets. Kind of get into that world where you can connect with driving elbows and shoulders back at the same time. If you can do that, you can really feel the back work. You want to avoid a lot of torso sway. A little bit of torso sway is normal in your rows, but if you're getting this wide range of torso sway, you're probably using too heavy of weight. Barbell curls and skull destroyers are my favorite. Yeah, easy curls I can hang with. Barbell curls, I did a lot of them when I was younger. I just don't like straight bar work. Red Devil, do hammer curls have any value? Anything has value. I mean, what you really want, let me just pull something up here. Sorry, I just screwed things up. You want a good variety of exercises. So hammer curls in the mix of, say, with 3 other, I searched pinwheel instead of pinwheel curls. Hammer curls along with 3 other quality exercise variations is a good mix. I'm going to show you what John Meadows does, the pinwheel curl, and this is actually what I prefer over the hammer curl. So a little tribute to John here. I always share this video when it comes to the pinwheel curl. I share this with my clients. This is a pinwheel curl. I can feel a really good contraction. Now, unlike John, I alternate arms left to right. That builds in a little bit of rest. Not a big deal. But that's a pinwheel curl. You can do a pinwheel or a hammer curl. Doesn't really matter. But if you're going to do a curl, a hammer type curl or pinwheel curl, you probably want to have it in the mix with 2 or 3 other bicep exercises that are more, conventional. I notice I have a muscle imbalance when I squat. When I come up, I favor my right side. My left leg is smaller than my right. Well, it's good to be aware. And it's actually a good thing when you're to notice a difference when you're coming up rather than you're sinking. But if you do have some kind of an imbalance, it's a good idea when you are sinking to think about driving your butthole straight down. A lot of people, when they squat, they think about hips and lower back. But the cue I like to focus people on is driving. When you have that bar on your back, think about driving your butthole straight down. That'll help you from twisting and turning. That'll kind of help you center a little bit better and reduce risk of injuries. Zach, the guy, when you're on a bulk, but your calories in the past have been a little bit like a roller coaster, and then you dial in the diet, is it unusual to lose some weight? Yeah, absolutely. One thing you got to look at, Zach, is if you were on a roller coaster before, number one, did you track everything? If not, your calorie average is probably higher than you suspected. If so, then you got to go in and calculate an average. So when you even things out after that roller coaster action, there's a good chance that the even level is going to be lower average wise than the higher than the roller coaster level. Beyond that, when you have roller coaster days, you're eating more. This could be calories, carbs, sodium, electrolytes, whatever. It's going to pull more water into the body, and it's also going to create more waste. So there's a likelihood you're going to weigh a little bit more when you're doing the roller coaster on any given day. Thoughts on pin press variations for OHP and bench? I use pin press right now for my seated presses. I start with the bar real close to my neck. It just feels good that way with my setup. There's nothing wrong with them. A lot of my clients use pin press variations. I don't like to use them as the only lift in the weekly repertoire, right? But I like to have it as one lift. So if you're doing a pin press bench, my clients will probably also be doing a barbell bench and a dumbbell bench. And if you're doing a pin press OHP, you're probably also doing a dumbbell OHP. Thoughts on testosterone out of my lane? I don't really know anything about it. The supplement engineer used to talk about it, but that's out of my area of expertise. Thoughts on the JM Press? So I'm going to try to get a video of this so people who are not familiar with the JM Press can take a look. And see, I got a video from Eric Spoto. Let me just share that real quick. We got some kind of a funky ad on there. There we go. So let me try to move it along a little bit here. That's the JM Press. Okay. And I would watch a tutorial online. It's a viable triceps bench assistance exercise. I would also want you to have a couple of other tricep exercises in your mix. If you're after bench strength, it's something that's quality that can be added in. Just make sure you understand form and watch every quality video like this you can on form to squeeze everything you can out of it, because there's many ways to screw it up. But I would also include maybe some single arm cable extensions for the short head, and some other variations, other tricep exercises for overall well-rounded strength. My favorite tricep exercise is the same dips. Biceps, I like heavy, easy bar curls or slow eccentrics, rope curls, and supinating incline dumbbell curls. Rope curls I don't mind, but they're one of my least favorites because when you're doing that rope attachment, it tends to jack up my palms for some reason. Just a weird pressure, but all those are good choices. I can't understand why in all the scientific discussions, they can't really figure out how much time it really takes to rebuild muscle cells after workouts. 2 days, 10 days, big difference. To me, it's like, these are things I don't worry about. Like, what does it really matter? What does it truly matter? We know how to build muscle, and I'm not downplaying your comment, DP, but science is evolving. The more we understand, the more we can refine the way we do studies. But at the end of the day, we know how to build muscle, and that's the important thing. Strength focused week, meaning exercise is centered around the big three lifts. Rep ranges don't change that much. That's all right. I stick to my programs, and I encourage you guys to as well, because I like my programs. I built them. I get a lot of folks that come to my DM saying, "What do you think about this program? What do you think about that program?" I think you should use one of my programs. That's what I think. I like my programs. So I put a lot of time in my programs. There's a lot of great programs out there, but if somebody's going to come to me and ask me what I think of somebody else's program, I'm going to tell you use one of mine, because I can help you more if I know what kind of pool you're swimming in. My new gym only goes up to 75 pounds. I dumbbell row 120 for 15. Should I just do more reps? At that point, that's a big gap. So you're better off doing a Meadows row or some other variation. Best way to go past failure on arm exercise. Why do you need to go past failure? It's like the best way to have sex after you've had an orgasm. Failure, I don't generally advocate training to failure on any exercise because it's not needed. If you want to do some kind of a pump work when you're in the gym and, just as an end cap, you could do a run the rack, run the stack. That's something I do on dumbbells. You could do a 50 or 100 rep set, but I don't think of things as going past failure. What I think of is like, if I have energy at the end of a session and I want some sprinkles on the icing on the cake, and I have a little bit extra exercise or energy, I'm going to do some kind of pump work, like run the rack, run the stack, or higher volume rest pause work, if that makes sense. Can you get a big chest without doing flies? 150%. Flies are probably my least favorite exercise when it comes to chest. Not just because, I find it a little bit generally rough on the shoulders, but it's a harder exercise to teach if you're not in person, and so many people do it wrong. They have the arms flared out. Even Athlete X was teaching it like this. You got to kind of drop your elbows when you come down and kind of come up like you're going from a slight low cable crossover, a little bit more leverage friendly on your chest, but you don't need flies at all. Flies are going to have a limited progression window, progression path. For me, if you're in a commercial gym, I want you to do a barbell exercise, a dumbbell exercise, dips, maybe a dips and push-up superset, machine chest press. And after that, if you want to do a little pec deck or whatever, but already you have 4 really good hypertrophy exercises in the mix. I have really skinny calves. How would you add calf training in the early stage of Massive 6? When I do programs for people, I'm often asked, where's the calves and abs training? Well, I tend to want somebody to run a program and run it for a month and then kind of move the calves and abs work wherever it fits best for them. Obviously, I don't want your abs torched before you do squats or deadlifts. So you don't want to do heavy, crazy work on the day before squats or deadlifts. But when it comes to calf training, do it when it makes sense for you. Like if your leg day is already super taxing and it's 75 minutes long and you're toast, you don't have to do it on leg day. You can put it at the end of bench day. You could even do it on an off day. So wherever makes sense. What do you think of DC training done bro split style? There's a lot you can learn from DC training. My bulldozer training program, I would recommend checking that out over on my website. It's based on some principles of DC training, and it's more rest pause. I really like it. It's something I put together over 13 years ago, maybe 14 years ago. So head over to my website, and just to show you guys how incredibly super sexy and easy it is. You go to Super Living Today, and you go up to this little magic search, and you search bulldozer. And you're going to get the bulldozer training course. And this has quite a lot of content, 71 pages, 12,000 words, and a lot of different splits. So if you're interested in looking at, as far as your question, DC training done bro split style, everything really comes down to I'd have to see it to make sure it's structured, intelligently. But beyond that, check out this program as well. And a lot of the original bulldozer stuff was kind of based on DC training. All right, guys, we're 31 minutes in. Post up your questions. I'll stay on as long as you have questions. If not, I'll jump off. So don't be shy. If you're new here, post up a question. Off topic is welcome as well. What do we got next? Let me just mute this. I'm just looking at another window here. I have a cup of coffee in the morning, no soda. Okay. Hold on one second, guys. I'm just checking the setting. I have a cup of coffee in the morning, no soda, no other sugars, 300 push-ups morning, squats, pull-ups, mainly just body weight stuff due to back injury. It's good general movement. Just be careful and listen to your body so you don't pick up any overuse injuries. All movement is good movement. So I'll try not to judge. You know what your body is capable of. If you can do 100 to 150 pull-ups a day, you're a machine. So you just keep up that pull-up strength. Listen to your body. Don't stick to a program if it starts to beat you up. Don't hesitate to take days off if you need to. Greetings from Vancouver. What's going on, Paul? At age 50 plus, reaching advanced levels on Big 3, one session, is this too much? Squats, good morning, deficit deads, belt squats, barbell. That's a lot of hard work in a single session. Would I advocate that? No. Would I do that myself? No. Would I be able to get a lot out of that? No. Not as much as changing it around a little bit. Am I telling you to change? No. If it's working for you, go for it. But that type of program would probably be better as an A-B type of split. Should a power lifter over 40 plus go heavy through the whole prep or just the last month? Generally in powerlifting, you have an off season and then you have a peaking season. And if you head over to my website, and I hate to constantly say this stuff, but there's a lot of resources over there. If you head over to my website and you search peak, okay? You search peak, you're going to find some stuff that will help you with peaking programs. And I have some information on YouTube as well. So this is how to peak, 5, 8, and 12-week peak for powerlifting or just testing your 1-rep max. Basically, what you want to do is you're going to have an off season, and then you're going to have a date where you want to test your max or compete. So leading up to that, maybe 5 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, maybe 12 weeks, you're going to be ramping up heavier and heavier. And in the meanwhile, you're going to be doing fewer and fewer back off sets. This will help you. This will help your strength shine as your fatigue is rescinding or going away. So that is the best way. You do not train heavy year round. This is a concept that's been created in the Franken Labs on YouTube, by people that think that's how you build strength in low rep sets all year round. That's a good way to kill yourself. What's the best way to incorporate rest pause? There's really no best way. Doing it on every set or every exercise can be a little bit challenging. So the best way, if you're going to do rest pause, check out my bulldozer training stuff. But one of the best ways to do it is to kind of cycle exercises week in and week out. So you might do rest pause on bench 1 week and then next week something more conventional. That, in my opinion, is the best way to do it. I'm a novice lifter. I have an issue wherein I train RPE 9 to 10. I feel absolutely bad if I don't push myself. But how you feel, look, feeling, we're not in this for feeling. We're in this for training, okay? And I'm just going to say this because you need to hear it. We're not going to go to the gym to feel. I feel bad if I don't push myself. You're in the gym to make plus ones progress, and that you don't have to train to failure. But when I do that, I move from set one to set two. My reps on the second set decrease. Of course they will. That's how it works. That's how training works. You can't get the same reps on the second or third set. Look, if you go into the gym and you bench 225 by 10, you can't expect to bench 225 by 10 on the second set. Doesn't work like that. Look at my rep goal system from my book, Massive Iron. If you get 10 reps, 7 reps, and 5 reps, that's 22 for 3 sets. Next week, try to get 23. So first off, there's no way you can get the same amount of sets, reps on each set unless you're not pushing yourself on the early sets. Second off, you got to look at overall progress rather than, how many reps did I get on 3 sets versus, trying to improve on that as opposed to trying to believe you can somehow magically get 8 or 10 reps on every set. That's not going to happen unless the first few sets aren't pushed hard at all. I'm going to miss John Meadows. I really enjoyed watching his videos. It helped me a lot. I interacted with John a few times at Tiger Fitness. John was always very guarded with his programming. So I tried to get John to do some workouts, to share what are your strategies for training biceps? And John was always very guarded, and he had every right to do so. But my main concern, with his passing is that we aren't going to know a lot or as much about his training style as I wish we would have. So I hope we do to honor him and his contributions to lifting. I hope we do find out a little bit more about his training styles, because he was always super guarded with me when it came to getting him to try to share content for you guys. So I just hope we can find out more. Best movie training montage. Wow, that's a tough question. I'd have to think about that for a while, but I'd like to hear what you guys have to think. For me, it probably would be the Rocky one. Just the scene with the eggs and the running. It's hard to beat that, for me. I'm not sure if you'd call that a montage as opposed to a scene, but started your upper posterior AB split last week. After benching, I can only do dips for about 10-8-7. Should I do assisted dips? No, that's really good. 10-8-7 is fine. I would try to get them to 10-10-10. And then slowly, after you get to 10-10-10, you can start to micro load weight, like add 5 pounds to each if you want. Or you could try to push them to 12 and then start to micro load weight. But you're doing really good. If you were at like 5, 3, and 2, and you weren't getting a lot of volume out of your dips, I might suggest doing assisted dips. Off topic, do content creators earn more ad revenue if they don't skip the repeatable ads? I have no idea. I really don't have any idea. I don't, to be honest with you, YouTube is I do YouTube to connect with you guys, to find a way to connect with people that connect with me. There are a lot of content creators out there that YouTube is their primary income, and that's not it for me. Do I get a check from YouTube every month around the 22nd or 23rd? Yeah. It's about the same. I don't know. I don't play around with ad stuff. I think even if I did, it wouldn't make any difference. $20 here, $20 there. And I'm not, complaining at all about the extra YouTube money, but I don't know anything about it. I really don't. It's not something I worry about, honestly, trying to put out something new and different each day, and something that's engaging, and for me, something I want to talk about. And that's really about it. All right, guys, we're 40 minutes in. Get your questions in. I got about 5 left in the queue. If I run out of questions, I'm going to pull the ripcord and get out of here, but I'd love to stay on longer. So post up any questions if you have them. How did you get so big? I literally eat everything I see, but I'm not gaining size. Well, Angry Hemorrhoid, you need to get more precise. You need to track calories. You need to have those calorie levels consistent. You need to weigh twice a week. Monday and Friday is a good starting point. After you get up, urinate, step on the scale. And if you're not gaining weight, then you need to increase calories. It's as simple as that. Advice to increase pull-ups, sets, and reps, how often? Over on my website, superlivingtoday.com, here we go with another commercial. And I am sorry, but I want to show you, and then I'll explain it for free. I got a video on here, at least one, if not more. Okay, I got 12 weeks to better push-ups and pull-ups. And if you do like Massive Iron YouTube, all right, where are you? There you are. Let me make sure I mute this. So, okay. If you go over to the search button, and let's just try improve pull-ups and see what happens. See if we can find it. Okay, so you got 12 weeks to better push-ups and pull-ups. If you go over there, watch that video, because I basically talk about what's in the little PDF for free. 12 weeks to better push-ups and pull-ups. One way you can do it is not doing straight sets, okay? And this is kind of the essence of the approach. You want to do like block sets, where time sets, like let's say you had a minute. And I said, I want you to go as far as you can in a minute, walking, running, sprinting, whatever. You would try to go as far as you could in that minute. And then the next time out, you would try to go a little bit further. You try to increase your speed. Well, in this type of system, it's the same thing. Instead of doing straight sets, you're going to do a minute, you're going to do 90 seconds or whatever. And you're going to try to improve your pull-ups in that time period, resting if you need to. Like, you don't just hang from the bar for 60 or 90 seconds. You might do 3 out of the gate and then rest 15 seconds and do another 1 or 2 and rest. And you want to see what you can do during that block, okay? And then after that block is done, you count the reps, and then you try to do 1 more next week. So that's one of the best ways, is to increase using time blocks and density training. All right, Red Wild Bear, is it possible to target lower lats? How much volume do you advocate for the back? The back can take a beating. One of the best things you can do for back training is have a wide variety of exercises. So obviously deadlifts are good for erectors and yoke and traps and the tops and bottoms and middles of the back. That's kind of a cornerstone. You know, if you can do a deadlift variation, do it. Then dumbbell row, barbell row, seated cable row, lat pull down, pull up, machine row, T-bar row, Meadows row, you know, all that kind of stuff. You want a really good variety. I find by using barbell rows, dumbbell rows, lat pull downs, and seated cable rows, that I get a good, well-rounded back. Lat pull downs and dumbbell rows, I feel, really help me with my lats and back in general. And I know dumbbell rows aren't considered a lat exercise per se, you know, but when I do them hard and heavy, I just feel like I have really good back thickness from what I've done over the years. I'm just trying to see if I can find a back picture. So I would say try to do, if you want to really push the volume, I would try to do 15 sets a week, including deadlifts, 3 sets of deadlifts, 3 sets of dumbbell rows, barbell rows. You can alternate these. Exercises day in and or week in and week out. So you don't have the same thing every week. You know, you could do dumbbell rows 1 week, barbell rows 1 week. What's Facebook doing? I was trying to do see all on back photos, but it just kept showing me one. All right. How would you structure an A-B push-pull leg split in terms of the frequency days in the gym? Any of my clients that are on a push-pull legs are on an A-B split. So it's push A, pull A, legs A, push B, pull B, legs B. Flex scheduling. Insert rest days when you need them. And you could train 4 days a week, 1 week, and then 5 the next, or whatever. But The best way to do it is not to staple yourself to, I have to do this every week. It's to take rest days when you need them. If you want to schedule in 5 days a week, like Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then rotate between those 6 workouts, that's how you would do it. You can have specific days of the week where you work out. Just rotate between those 6 workouts. They don't have to be on the same day, if that makes sense. I end every workout with some form of forearm work, just 2 sets, 5 days a week. It is more than I could do in 2 days. Is lightly working them, but frequent? No, light. The key word is light. Light does nothing. Okay, light does absolutely nothing. I've never really done direct forearm work, and my forearms are huge because of all the barbell work I do in progressive overload. If you don't do progressive overload, you're not going to see any progress. You're just wasting your time. So there has to be some form of progressive overload in the mix. And if you meant light, just from a set standpoint, like only 2 sets a day, but focus on progressive overload, then absolutely that's fine. Recommendations for a weight belt. I get this a lot, and I'm going to show you guys real quick what I recommend. This is what I have. It's not the only thing in the world, right? It's not the only thing in the world, and somebody's probably going to disagree with me. They're going to have their own little pet belt, and that's fine. But if you go to Titan Support Systems, Longhorn prong belt, you want 10 millimeters. You don't want it any thicker than 10 millimeters. You want single prong. Okay, see that? Single prong. And you want to make sure you get the sizing right. Mine is custom made. It's $99. And some of you might be balking at that. But this thing will last you a lifetime, or close to a lifetime, or an extremely long period of time. I got mine back there. See that? You see the monkey. And then next to the monkey is that red thing right there. That's my Longhorn from when I was 346 pounds. That thing, this is my recommendation for a belt. And again, there are other belts out there. You don't need anything bigger than 10 millimeter. Single prong is easier to lock in. And I know just from, personal experience coaching people, coaching power lifters, coaching Special Olympians in powerlifting, when you're really locking that crap in, give me a single prong any day. So J-Man says Rocky IV, that's his favorite training montage. I'd have to watch that again, actually, to weigh in intelligently on that. John Thompson is a total test level of 10,000 high for 10,000 is ridiculous. 1,000 would be high. So I think there might be an extra 0 in here by accident. But if normal test ranges, let's just Google it, just so we are on the correct sheet of music. Normal testosterone ranges. Normal testosterone range for men. It depends on what your doctor says. As far as low tests, some doctors don't want to, give you TRT or whatever unless your test levels are ridiculously low. But here's total test levels and free test levels of age ranges. And you can see for men, 600, 500 is pretty good range. 500, 600, before the age of 75. 1,000 would be either a freak or somebody that is slightly enhanced. And 10,000, I don't know what kind of cycle you'd be doing there. Dip weight belt. Angry hemorrhoid. Somebody's laughing at the angry hemorrhoid name. Do you think turtle diabetes? Speaking of names, now we have turtle diabetes. Do you think that an intra-workout drink of EAs is worthwhile? No. I wouldn't spend my money on that. If you're going to do anything intra-workout, and I'm going to pull this up on Amazon if I can, honey stingers, and be careful because there's different types of honey stingers. Okay, so If you want anything intra-workout, check out Honey Stingers, okay? These things are very low calorie. And some of them contain caffeine. Really easy to chew and knock out in like a minute. Some stuff you take into a workout, it can be a pain. But Honey Stingers, maybe 15 minutes into a workout, will help you boost a little bit of energy. But how many of us need that? Not many. If you have longer workouts, 75 minutes, 90 minutes, and you don't want to bonk, I would take a Honey Stinger 15 minutes into a session. But beyond that, EAAs, I wouldn't waste my money. Tried your 5+5 60-second shrug last night. Great way to fatigue the traps. I'm glad you like it. I have on this channel, I have a video about it, the 5+5, and I give a lot of my clients the 5+5 method. Basically, in dumbbell shrugs, barbell shrugs, Smith shrugs, whatever. You do 5 reps, and you can do 3, you can do 4. There's nothing magic about 5. And then you hold the bar for 3, 4, 5 seconds, and you repeat that. So you do 3, 4, 5 reps of shrugs and a static hold for 3, 4, 5 seconds, and repeat until you get to 60 seconds. So you're really increasing your time under tension and your stress with the stress you place on your traps. Did you enjoy the Suicide Squad? Another great Massive Live. Thank you for tuning in, Richard. Yeah, I mean, my wife liked it too. I thought it was a good movie. Did it have a few low points and slow points? Yeah, but I also watched The Rock's new movie, whatever that thing was. It was like 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it was long and slow and boring. And the first Rock movie that I didn't like, what was it? I can't even remember what the stupid thing is, a jungle thing. Whatever jungle movie it was, I would not spend the money on that. I'd wait till it was like $2 on Amazon to even venture into that. I've lost about 4 pounds cutting 500 calories to go into a deficit. I haven't seen, much of a change in 3 weeks after that. Should I drop? Yep, I would absolutely. What you experienced was an initial drop in water weight due to a change of eating habits. You probably tightened the belt a little bit, lost a little water, lost a little waist, and now you're probably pretty close to maintenance. So I would definitely drop it a little bit more. Let me get a drink. We're doing Purple Monster and Purple Monster today. About your 5x5, can I replace dips and lunges? You can replace anything as long as the swap-in exercise is reasonable and pretty similar. So absolutely. How many exercises do you recommend per session on a push-pull legs? 1 hour per session, 3 times a week. Well, really, when you're looking at 1 hour sessions, when I program anything, like if I program a normal workout, I want to make sure it can be done in 75 minutes in most cases. Ultimately, 65 to 70, and even 60 minutes for those that do things a little bit more snappy. In a push-pull legs, generally you're going to have a push day with a lot of pressing and triceps, and then the next days you have squats and deadlifts. Excuse me. My allergies are killing me. It's hot in here, and talking for an hour straight, your throat gets a little dry. So if you have an hour session, you kind of want to start with around 15 to 18 sets. And then if that's running a little bit long, you can unplug one set for some of the last couple of exercises to bring it down to like 15 or 16. If you're working hard, 15 to 16 sets, a workout is probably going to be good enough, upwards of 18. And that includes isolation stuff. All right, what do we got here? Matthew, yesterday's deadlift session, I felt it in my hamstrings for the first time. Usually it's my quads. I really focused on getting back on my heels yesterday. I thought I was supposed to be all deadlifts are not all quads. No, you want to be on your heels when you pull. If you're not on your heels on your deadlift, it's going to move your weight forward. And when you pull, your hips are going to have a tendency to come up, and you're going to place the stress on your lower back. Don't analyze where you get sore on deadlifts though. Deadlifts are good for the whole body, and you don't want to worry. You don't want to turn deadlift into a focus on quads or hamstrings. Even if you can't feel a muscle working, doesn't mean it's not working. On squats, I've squatted for over 35 years. My quads never get sore. My hamstrings always get sore, but my quads are growing like crazy. So one of the common misbeliefs is that if you don't feel something, it's not building, which isn't true. Thoughts on kettlebells? They bore the snot out of me, to be honest with you. They're good. I just don't like kettlebell work. Can it be good for conditioning? Yes. Do some of my clients use kettlebells to build muscle? Yes. Do I particularly like them? They're super expensive. You have to have a lot of them to be able to progressively overload. And I just generally prefer dumbbells. So it's a tool like anything else. If you can use that tool to build muscle, absolutely 100% go for it. Olympic lift variations, and that includes kettlebell variations on mock Olympic lifts, aren't always the best for hypertrophy. That doesn't mean they're bad exercises. It doesn't mean you can't do a couple of them per session or whatever, but nothing I'm passionate about. As someone who is cautious about keeping my lower back healthy, am I missing out on back development by not including deadlifts and barbell rows? You have to have, no, you don't need deadlifts, but you need some kind of a heavy row, T-bar row, dumbbell row. There can be a point where you get so cautious that it actually makes that body part weaker. And that is a possibility with your lower back. First off, on your barbell rows, you could try doing Pendley rows for a little bit less pressure on your lower back. And if you don't like them, that's fine. Do a dumbbell row, but you have to do a heavy row. You have to do some form of a heavy row. That's not a machine or a cable. And if you're at the point where it's fatiguing your lower back, that's a good indicator that maybe you're doing more harm than good. Your lower back strength is weaker than it should be rather than normal. So I don't know your situation, but that's something to consider. Have you been working on your grip strength with your COC, Captains of Crush Grippers? Occasionally. Nothing super dedicated. So it's just not something I think about daily, and then you get done with the day and you're like, oh, there they are. I do 5x5 chest and back on Monday, legs, shoulders on Saturday. I do 3x8 for calves and 2. Is that enough? I'd have to look at the program. Honestly, Red Devil, use one of my programs. I mean, I have tons and tons of programs, tons of options, and they don't cost an arm and a leg. I'd be happy to look at your program. If you can type it all out or, post it up in a way that I can easily digest it. But, use one of my programs if you're unsure. Rob left before he had to take his shirt off and flex. No more Robert. Robert's in his own world. I struggle to add weight to skull destroyers. I rest once for about 10 seconds. It's normal. Take them down to 30 reps. It's not really an exercise you can rapidly, add weight to. It might be something you can more micro load. So I'm not sure if you have any ability to micro load where you're at, but don't force it. It'll come. It's not going to be an exercise like where you can do 100 pounds for 30 or 40 reps. Not many guys will get there. So just understand it's not something that's going to move super quickly. My question disappeared in the chat. Yeah, that's on YouTube, not on me. I'm very sorry. No Monster drink today. I got two. I got the regular and I got the backup. This is the backup right here. Mystery, judge, jury, executioner, discipline is key. Not sure what we're talking about. So lunges replace them to leg press and dips replace them to decline bench. That sounds all right. You get the thumbs up there. What's up? Best What's up, bro? Best two exercises for triceps and biceps. I would really appreciate it. Thanks. There aren't really best. You want a good exercise variety. I would work in four exercises and 2 week two you can do two where whoops, I clicked on something by accident. You can do two 1 week and then two the next. So I would like to have four exercises in the mix. So I like to do, for example, pinwheel curls, dumbbell curls, easy bar curls, and then maybe a cable curl or a concentration curl. It doesn't really matter. You just do four variations, and for triceps, a cable extension, maybe a single arm cable extension. Single arm cable extensions are good for the short head of the triceps. Skull destroyers, which we just talked about, and maybe close grip bench. Those are four good starting points. You can also do the French press, single arm dumbbell extensions, etc. Thanks for all your advice. Glad to help. Opinion on calorie cycling during a lean bulk? No, it's useless. It's foolish. It's counterproductive. You're trying to listen to my. If you want to hold your weight, watch my video from this week. Watch my video from this week. But the thought that if you're recovering on off days, you need to just keep your calories at a sane level, the same every day during a lean bulk. One of the biggest things I see with inconsistent clients is that they have energy spikes. Like one day they have a great workout, the next day they suffer a little bit and their calories are doing this. When you're on a bulk, when you're trying to build muscle and strength, keep things steady. How do I implement a slingshot for bench? How often should I use it? What I generally recommend if somebody wants to play around with it is to use it, excuse me, every other week. So you could do regular bench 1 week and then slingshot bench the next. Give yourself about 3 sessions to get used to using the slingshot. So don't go super heavy on it because it will allow more weight. But it will also feel different the first couple times you use it. So it's going to adjust, where your elbows are at on the bench. There's going to be some adjustments coming. Okay. So just give it some time. That's probably how I would do it. YouTube is messing with my live chat. No worries. Just post them up. I got about 3 comments in the queue. And if I don't get any more comments or questions, I'm going to hop off. But if you have any questions, get them in now. Try posting it up now. Thoughts on deadlifts and squats on the same day? There have been some programs I've done with that. You can do deadlifts and squat variations or them on the same day. If you do them, what I would suggest is alternating which one you start with. And the one you start with is the lift you're focusing on for that day. And the secondary lift, you're not going super heavy. You're backing off a little bit, more of a moderate day for that lift. So let's say on deadlifts, you're working up to 4 sets of 3. And then you want to back off and do squats. I wouldn't do a lot of super heavy squat work. I'd have it more moderate. So I'd cycle between a deadlift focus day and a moderate squat day. And then the next workout, a squat focus day, and then a more moderate deadlift day, if that makes sense. When is your pre-workout coming out? Never. I woke up one day, Robert was off social media, and when you're trying to grow a supplement brand, I wasn't trying to grow a powerhouse supplement brand, but when your partner is no longer on social media and has no interest in, working with you to handle questions, comments on the products. Yeah, I spent a year with Robert, and I'm not bitter here, but funneling people and telling people they could go over to social media only to have them disappear. That's like one leg holding up the table. Just doesn't work. So never. Squats versus leg press. Press leaves me less taxed, but my legs better pumped. Well, anytime you have two variations like that, one of them is probably going to feel more challenging than the other. It's not a versus, it's both. Do both. Whenever you have two quality exercises, you want to do both. I strongly suggest that unless there's an unusual circumstance, to start with both in your program. Not sure what you're talking about here, DP. Both are harmful, but which is more? Sorry, I got it. I got you now. Both are harmful, but which is more, too greasy or too sweet? Well, the thing is, what we have to do is look at what is considered a hyperpalatable food. A hyperpalatable food, like sometimes people are like, I have a sweet food addiction, right? A hyperpalatable food usually has sweets, fats, and salts, and all kinds of junk carbs built into them. So it's like a combination lock. Like let's say an ice cream sandwich. Okay, tastes sweet, but it's got carbs built into the sandwich, and it's got fats built into the sandwich, just in a different combination. So then we have like fried chicken with a sauce, right? Barbecue sauce. That's, you got your fats, you got your sweets. It's the same hyper palatable food. It's just in a different combination. So really, what we have to be careful of is hyper palatable foods that aren't like broccoli or chicken or steak or whatever, mushrooms. There's something that's been designed where you have a harder time stopping from overeating them. That's really what we need to be concerned about. All right. Is it better to do shrugs on an upper or lower day and an upper lower split? It really depends on the layout of your program. Shrugs can be done on a deadlift or RDL day or back day, or they could be done on a shoulder day. So I like to do them on either, as long as you're not shrugging the day before deadlifts. All right, thoughts on implement conditioning for beginners. As far as implements, I assume you mean like, loaded carries, that sort of thing. Whatever you're doing, you need, whoever you are, you need some form of conditioning work. That's just general health. And if you don't do it, it's your health, and you get to decide. But everybody should be doing some conditioning work, some form of cardio, walking, hiking, running, implement, whatever. So I'm not sure if you're talking about conditioning using like loaded carries or sandbag tosses or whatever, or if you're talking about implementing conditioning work. If you're implementing it, go slow, take your time. If you're getting into running, don't push yourself. Let it come to you. Just go slow and steady. And if I don't like to train hamstrings, can I do one very intense set? Well, there are a lot of things I don't like to do, but you have to do them. So my best advice is to take it like a man and do it. One set, and I'm not a fan. Favorite bench variations. Guillotine press would be one of my favorite bench variations. All right, guys, I have no questions in the queue, but we got a special guest in the studio. And if you want to get in some more questions, get them in now. We have Mr. B. Butters. Mr. Buddy Pal. Here, Mr. Buddy Pal. Mr. Friend Pal. This is Mr. Friend Pal. And my lovely wife, Fiona.
Hello.
What you doing? Thank you for licking my nasal passages. I got a dog hair in my eyeball. He is a commando, as you can see.
Yes.
And we're getting a new one in about 3 weeks.
Oh, he's so tired. Such a hard
life. The new one's going to be called Mr. Jellykins. She named him. I'm trying not to call him Mr. Jellykins and give him a complex. What do you see, Bubba? What do you see, Bubba?
What's that?
That's you, Bubba.
No.
All right.
Yes, we best get going.
All righty. All right. What do we got here? What's the benefit of doing it? You can leave the door open if you don't have any clients. What's the benefit of doing a front squat barbell? Well, it's a variation. Variations can be good. Most of my clients, probably at least 80% of them that do front squats don't like them because it's harder to hold the barbell in place. If you do them, I'd recommend 6-rep sets, starting point, just so it's a good balance between, the stress that's placed on your system and the ability to hold the bar. So they hit one of the benefits of doing a front squat is I see people that struggle with a back squat, getting in the hole, getting deep, finding a natural position. They tend to think less on a front squat, and then they just nail their squat depth. So there is some benefit in that it can be easier on the knees in the whole system because people tend to think less and they tend just to be able to hit depth a little bit more naturally. So, and it can change the dynamic of, what it targets as far as what area of the quads. In a perfect world, if you could do front squats, back squats, leg press, hack squats over the course of 2 weeks, that would probably be really good for hypertrophy. But, front squats are one of those exercises you love or hate. I do not like them, and I don't like to use them. Mako says, Razor winning the World Series, book it. Well, that could be, and I'd like to be so bold and brash to say my Milwaukee Brewers, and you can see the curtain my wife made right here, are going to win the World Series. But, once you get to the playoffs, it is what it is. You never know. And one wacky game one off pitch can change the dynamic. Eduardo, thanks. You're welcome. Glad to help. Hope you guys have a nice weekend. Thank you, Zed. I appreciate it. All my questions will not post. Send me a DM on Instagram. Try to shorten the question length because sometimes longer questions don't post. Hi to all of you. What's the benefits up? We just touched on that. After doing bench, I feel a strain between chest and shoulders and lose all strength. I'm not sure if you're talking about your front delts. Front delts can get hit a lot and hit hard when you are building your bench strength. So you could be feeling some strain or some stress on your front delts, and that might just be a normal thing. Do touch and go deadlifts have a place? No way, not any, because people do not understand the deadlift. They tend to not be with touch and goes. They get sloppy. They're not tight. Their weight's not on their heels. I'm not a fan of touch and go deadlifts at all. There's just no benefit for me. If you read this, I love you to the moon and back. Thank you. Unfortunately, that's okay. I won't tell anybody. Any tips for grip strength? Trying to do don't do RDLs without straps. Why are you worried about training your grip on RDLs? Your grip slips and you're going to jack up your back. Do not do that. Do not do that. Use straps. Use straps. We do not let a minor muscle group hinder our development of a major muscle group or major exercise. We do not do that. Not in the massive iron world. You want to train grip strength? Do it after you do RDLs with straps. Then you can do static holds. You can do crush gripping, pinches. Pinches are thumb and 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, etc. What's your opinion on full body 5 days a week? 3 sets for no. I have a program, and I'm going to share this just so you guys know. You can find it for free on YouTube as well. Basically, anything I talk about on my website, you can find for free. You don't have to buy stuff. So if you search drunk on my website, you get the Drunk Russian. That is a 5-day full body workout. And I find 2 sets per body part on average is a good place to start. Do you currently train at home or at a gym? Right behind the black curtain there, oops, where is it, is my gym. And I got a space there and then some stairs down and extra space. So it goes back quite a ways. and I got quite a bit of stuff back there. I keep that black curtain up there because there's a lot of sunlight in that room. And if I don't block it off with that black curtain when I do lives, it just makes me look really, really strange. All right, guys, I'm done. That's all the questions. I appreciate you guys joining me. Tune in every Friday at 11 Eastern. If you want coaching, head over to my website, superlivingtoday.com. Hit the coaching tab. I'd be glad to help you guys out. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.